And good morning and welcome to the Australian Ultimate Championships Division 2 bracket in the Open Division. We've got the villainous Geelong Mudlarks, the bad guys of Ultimate, playing Stout, hailing out of New South Wales. The Mudlarks from Geelong. And we're coming to you from Shepparton. My name's Andy Moroney, joined by Avril Tam. And Avril, two of the teams widely tipped to go pretty deep in this tournament, meeting in the semi-final.
For sure, I'm looking forward to a nice and close semi-final. Of course, the Mudlarks being the reigning champions of this Division 2 trophy, looking to get into the gold medal match again and potentially vie for a second. Stout, of course, lots of experienced heads on this team. They've been playing together for a long, long time, coming out from New South Wales. And as we mentioned earlier, a little windier this morning, with the wind going slightly left to right and slightly towards the camera. So we'll see if that has any effect on the plays.
And it'll be Paddy Thorpe with a big backhand to get us underway. And we're on. And it's Owen Shepherd with the disc. Standard pull reception play, and the Mudlarks are down nice and early. Oh, and we have our first pick of the game, and it's Ant Dowell, the culprit. Dowell and Isherwood marking each other. Ledwich with it. To Shepherd. A little bit of give-go action. Cutters all covered downfield, so the handler's needing to work overtime. This one will be a high count and
another pick.
Another pick. Two back. High count. Dens is cutting everything downfield off, so he either needs to make a cut or get out of there.
I like the pressure from Mudlarks. Plenty of defensive intensity. Defenders all on their toes, covering that favoured open side.
And they do move it to Dens to Shepherd. Shepherd, lovely low release. They get it out wide. Shep keeping that movement going. Goes out. And Woodley with a big bid. Dowell equal to it, and Dowell lets one go. And then Joshi Phillip, he gets the D. And the Mudlarks have arrived. Big defensive effort from Isherwood. And then Josh Phillip finishing the job. And the Mudlarks are going to have a look at the first break of the game. Isherwood stands out wide backhand. Directs traffic around. This count getting a little high, a lot around the disc. The count must be very high. And Woodley's going. He's calling one under. Mitch Field gets it through to Phillip. Phillip to Wood. Wood to Phillip, they're unmarked. And they're able to just work it up. No pressure able to be applied. Defensive breakdown. You think the matchup's kind of got muddled there because both Isherwood and Phillip unmarked.
And beautiful gainer here through the middle. Muddy's just working their way through so quickly after getting the turn. Stout defenders just caught off guard. And no one really willing to get in between those 1-2s, unfortunately. So defensive pressure certainly very high for the Mudlarks, not so much for Stout.
Yeah, a lot of game to play, but a nice statement of intent from the Mudlarks. As we take a look at their team, as we said, storied history in the Division 2 bracket. And a big shout out to number 2, Jake Angelovich, not here this weekend, but our thoughts are with him. Absolutely stellar bloke, unlike his best mate Louis Broad walking past us. And so let's see if Stout can respond. One breakdown, but there's a lot of game to play. So Paddy Thorpe again Rocking some petrol station sunglasses, I reckon. And it'll be Sheppard going to Denya. There's one streaming deep. Denya doesn't like it instead. Bounces it back to Sheppard. Comes out wide. This is Grow. Looking back at Sheppard. Sheppard nice, big around backhand, but there's going to be a call. Pick off Marty Nguyen.
So again, some very intense defensive pressure, forcing Stout to go backwards and sideways. Well done to the Mudlarks for getting up firing early.
Sheppard with it. Self-check. Owen looks the inside flick, doesn't like it. Instead goes back. Is that Sash Vidler? A little bit of body between Wise and Vidler. Owen pointing, fakes the flick, gets to Dans.
So again, not making many metres at all, Stout. Oh, now they get a nice inside shot.
Sean O'Mahony. To Dens at halfway. Dens sees one, lets one go. It's deep. Nice beard, but it's out the back.
Plenty of props given from the sideline. Muddy's defense looking the goods here early. Really forcing Stout to move backwards and sidewards. Only really managing to make one meaningful gainer. That lovely inside flick.
Yeah, Sheppard and Denya looking super safe with the disc. But not a lot of action going on downfield. So we see Paddy and his Kmart Sunnies. Let's go. The quick backhand goes to Wise. Wise fakes the flick, goes round on the backhand. Pat well shut down by Dens, manages to shake and bake. He has a look, fakes the flick, throws the backhand. Pat grab. Sheppard with the good sit. Woodley goes up early, can't reel it in. Mahoney makes sure of it, and it's a turn. And Stout going the quick give go. Huge gainer from Sheppard. He goes to Denya. Bit of traffic upfield, but they make it work. Denya goes up the line. Lovely inside, opens it up. That's Marty Nguyen. Goes to Sean Mahoney. O'Mahony. Fakes the flick. Marty settles back. And there'll be a call. So a bit messy if you're Stout. Marty to Sheppard, his Wombats teammate. Sheppard, the low release break flick. And his receiver thinks long and hard about the spike. And that's a cracking throw from O'Shep. A few throws that point, you can see the setup. Marty bouncing straight away, reasonably safe. And on getting down low, inside flick. That puts Stout on the board.
So good leveler for Stout, although they had to have a few cracks at the cherry. And we have a look at the team list.
Yes, and this is a trip down memory lane. We've got some veterans on Mudlarks, but Stout, Bloomer, Greenfield, Dow. He's a Vidler. These are all names that you were calling if you'd be watching the 2008 Dingoes, 2004 even. Longevity comes to mind when you look at that Stout team.
Brewing for a long time. A curvy pull, arcs up blades, makes it very difficult to catch.
Matthews Hunter goes to Louis Broad. Phillip sees one, thinks better of it, goes back to Boss. Boss, he sees one. He jacks one. That's going deep to Paddy Thorpe, who's going to jog onto it. And that's Louis Broad's biggest asset. Outside of his incredible intellect, obviously, is his flick bomb. Super well weighted. Paddy didn't need to break stride.
And from a static as well.
Yep.
Just fake the defender, or fake the mark just to get a little bit more open, and had that all day. Receiver getting plenty of separation. See here, almost a full field there on a dime. Thorpe not needing to break stride. Little tail wag with the towel there as well to complete the job. So Muddy's up the early break, and then 2 holds. And just checking the direction of the wind. It's going to be a slightly upwind pull. See what else the Muddy's defense have in store. And the rips one, lots of float, does well in that upwind direction. Stout goes quickly and an early first throw turn. Never like to see those ones. And the Muddy's D-line absolutely humming now. And an overshot hammer.
Oh.
Falls perfectly.
Tim Wise runs the green tree frog play. Hammer off the stop disc to the break side of the end zone. And the Mudlarks have another break off a wild hammer from the big dog, T. Wise. See Wisey running up to it. He gets that glint in his eye. Lets one go. Everyone on the Mudlarks knowing, oh, out the break side. And then it was Tim Wise. And welcome back from the timeout. Mudlarks enjoying a quick start to this game. They enjoy a 3-1 lead over Stout, who burned a timeout to talk it over.
Yeah, that one throw turnover really hurting them.
Stings, yep. That stings.
And then when you've got some perfect conversions on the D-line, very difficult. So can Stouts wake up after a bit of an early hangover? Not sure what their recovery or celebratory plans were last night, and that pull lands out of bounds, so we'll start at the brick mark.
Are we setting up a beer or a Stout punt? Is that where we're going? Okay, cool. Just checking. Never been a Stout man, with the exception of a Guinness. Don't mind a Guinness.
Yes, true to your Irish roots.
They wouldn't let me back in. You pretty much got to say that. So, all right. So that will be a brick. It's Dens bringing it in. Phillip marking. Denya sees the backhand, throws the backhand. Nice little dishy action. They've moved it up to halfway. This is better from Stout. Clearly coming in off a set play. Denya gets one off the line. He goes, backhand. Right on the line. And it gets really cramped. Everything collapses in. A big, wide backhand, and it's going to pay off.
Somehow manufactured something from nothing. Bodies everywhere on that open side. Stout in the end, just a bit of a Hail Mary here.
It really was, yeah. Owen going out wide, going, okay, count's pretty high. I've just got to get this out to the break side. I think that's Glenn. Is that Glenn out there? It is.
Here we go, Stout. Here we go, Stout.
Glenn Molnar. He's still getting around. And a good point from Denya.
So nice, clean hold for Stout, just what the doctor ordered. And now to apply some defensive pressure. Don't want to be down a 2-break deficit too early.
And we're joined by the thrower of that goal, Owen Shepherd, legend of the game. Owen, who are you aiming for there?
The two open guys on the right. I'll let them work out who gets it.
Okay, so you picked it. That wasn't just a stall 9 kind of Hail Mary.
Well, the defence is sagging under, which means there's space at the back.
Well done, well done. You're
I
playing
probably shouldn't have thrown it at 9. Probably
Yeah.
should have hit something earlier, but my bad.
It's not on you. Oh, good luck for the rest of the game.
Thanks.
Owen Shepherd, legend of the sport, but right now it's going to be the Mudlarks. Joshi goes back to Louis Broad, rocking Barley's sunglasses. Louis looks at that flick, throws the flick. This one's an under, and that's going to be a D from Stout. And that was Adam Sellers. Charlie Bloomer now with the disc. He goes back to Sash Vidler. Don't step on his toes. He doesn't like it when you step on his toes. Charlie Bloomer, he's got it, and there's nothing happening in the stack. Hemmed in on the sideline. This one a little bit better. This is Baker. Baker, he lets one go, and there's Wally Crocker in the end zone catching the goal, and Stout answer back with a break of their own.
Way to get going, Stout. Sleepy early, but once they manage to get a beautiful clean hold, come back immediately, generating the turn and not letting the disc be given away again, as we see here. Fantastic block by Sellers. And now squeezing it up this sideline. But the timing of those cuts, completely open man downfield. And Baker just here, beautifully set, beautifully weighted. Score from Wally Crocker. So Stout managing to pin one back. I like their defensive pressure and energy on that point.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. They're going to need to ramp it up a bit, and they have. They're still down a break, but managed to get some momentum going back.
Big sideline, big sideline.
And Molnar on cue calling for a big sideline, as we see Ash O'Sullivan, one of the best coaches in the business. All on the line and ready. And another pull just about hitting the brick mark. Broad to Thorpe. Thorpe looks for DMH, but DMH was asleep, so he's going to bounce it back over to Broad. Broad looks at the scuba dooba to Tim Wise. Speaking of overheads, this time throws the backhand. Dan Matthews-Hunter. And Mitchfield is way too deep out the back, so it's all going to be under action, and it's Tim Wise. He looks into the dish, decides not to. Mahoney marking him, gets it to Corn. Corn Hudson wants the flick, throws instead the lefty backhand. Goes to Phillip. Phillip on the end zone line. One goes up the line, but there's a peel off, and I think, is that Tim G? It is. Peeled off the front and got the D, poach D, and Stout will have another crack at it. They look wide. G with it, 2 go deep. Leaves the under. And right now, Tim G marshalling the offense. Sean O'Mahony has 2 going, doesn't like it, goes back instead to G. Sean and Tim having to work it between them. Now they get it up onto the high side. They move it out wide. On their end zone line, they bounce it. And the shot goes. Sean is not in. Had a look at it if he wanted, and now there's a fair bit of action, a bit of body.
Someone looking for some piggybacks there as well. Everyone just trying to protect that cone. And just some legs falling over. And some backs maybe a little sore too.
Interesting way to defend.
And just making sure he's in the correct position coming back in.
He's a pest. So O'Mahony has it. Hong Lee fakes Paddy out. Paddy thought he'd thrown it. We do have a stoppage. Fair bit of chat in the stack. Mahoney, he gets one out to the break, didn't throw it again, and you guessed it, stoppage.
It's a key opportunity here to peg back that second break and get it back on serve. So Stout very motivated to try and slot this one in. Have to retreat now. Oh, another fake hammer, couple more bodies on ground and another stoppage.
So Stout needing to be composed. High stoppage have had a few shots into the end zone, or sorry, a few options where they could have thrown into the end zone. They're going to see the stall count coming back in on 1. And now this one a little bit more patient, and there's another break. Stout converting their break opportunity, and we are back on serve.
Good to see the Stout boys high in energy, high in volume as well, getting around their players. Really patient work there on the end zone, having to swing it side to side, and a lot of stoppages there as well. We see here plenty of pressure right on the end zone line, getting that block at the last second. And then the pivoting and some pretty convincing fakes as well to move the mark. Ultimately, G.
And we're going to see the Mudlarks call a timeout to talk it over. That's 2 consecutive breaks that Stout got following their timeout. So we'll listen into the Mudlarks timeout and be back after this. And we're back out of the timeout. This time a pretty aggressive pull from Stout. They're right down Marty Nguyen, running down. Here's the first down. His Dingo's teammate, Wombat's teammate, Phillip, had it. And now it's Isherwood. Isherwood dishes back to Pat Thorpe. Thorpe, this wind really starting to gust up now. It's not going to bother those throwers. And we are going to see a call, an accepted. It was Samuel Brown, I think, just with a bit of body contact on Isherwood.
So out of that timeout huddle, Stout said much of the same. They liked the defensive intensity, so continuing on the same.
Paddy Thorpe moves it to Broad. Broad holsters one, calls him back under. Goes the wide flick.
Ooh,
Charlie.
Injury there.
That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all.
That devastating to see that.
I wouldn't replay that, guys. I don't think that's good.
Just trips over his toes and not looking too good.
And we might see an extended stoppage here. I think we're going to take our time, make sure a physio's there.
Yeah, it does look like we will have an extended stoppage here as we get some medical attention, make sure the players are well looked after.
So it'll be a medical timeout. We'll jump into the huddles, hear what the message is. Hopefully nothing too serious. We'll catch you back on the other side.
So, yeah. Yep. I'm just going to say hi to the kids. Yeah. Hi, Max, Will, and Lucas. Have fun up the farm with Grandma and Otto. Hope you're enjoying the game. See you, boys.
The voice of Tim G there, giving a shout out to the family, wherever they might be tuning in from.
And we have another shout-out request from Stout. Unfortunately, one of their players, Juan Camilo Pozo, went down day one and is currently having surgery, so wishing well on some injured teammates.
He might have company, I'm afraid, because, yeah, that injury, they're not sounding or looking good.
Right, but our tournament staff hard at work, medical team ready here to assist.
So Matthews Hunter goes to Paddy Thorpe. Paddy Thorpe hits Woodley. Paddy getting really well covered by Charlie, eventually gets off. Matthews Hunter, marked by Denya. Stacked pretty deep, so Louis Broad goes. He's well marked by Marty. Shoots out the break side to Phillip. Phillip has one on the break if he wants it. They need to clear a little bit, and there's an easy break from J-Mac. As soon as they cleared out, Phillip was able to hit J-Mac on that break side. Towed it well. And we're going to add 3.5 minutes to account for the injury timeout, so that will be a game to 73 minutes, not 70. So see the grandstand start to fill up. Teams whose tournaments have ended coming to watch all the action. These two teams still alive. Semi-final. The winner will progress to the Division 2 Ultimate Finals.
Wind's still pretty steady, perhaps not as gusty as earlier, and players already making sure to adjust their throws. So after those early turnovers, we've had a steadying hold now for the Muddies, and Stout now to come back, also looking for a nice hold.
Shepard collects, he moves it in. Count starting to get up now. Owen gets busy, moves it to Marty Nguyen. Marty looks at Owen. Owen half goes up the line, then charges. Marty with a high count has a bailout in the shape of Denya. And he goes and he lets one go, and that one had a couple on it. I think there was the hand block and then a block off the front of the stack. So Phillip will go to it.
Only about half a field to work with, so good field position for the Muddies.
Goes the Scuba Dooba to Woodley. Woodley to Aiden. Aiden Howard back to Phillip. Stack a little deep, but Joshi jacks a sidearm out the back, and it's Woodley with a little 360 action. Managed to track it. It was coming in with a bit of heat, but Woodley equal to it. See Mark there with his back to it, turns at just the right time. And Phillip once again involved, throwing and catching goals so far today. Proud wife Tegan looking on. Tegan, the real athlete of the family, ex-Australian Diamond. Played for the Vixens, done it all.
Elite level. And the birds there flying together, forming some nice patterns in the sky. As you said, Joshy Phillip on the board, a goal to assist and a block to go with it, so generating plenty of opportunities on defence and converting as well.
Now, I reckon he's going to be good for a couple of turnovers as well, just quietly. As we see Pat Thorpe, that's a lovely pull, best pull of the day so far. O'Mahony. They move it out. And now a little bit of a junk look from the Mudlarks. 1-3-2-1, so quite aggressive.
Got lots of bodies here right near the disc, so they're going to have to go a big one or just these tiny dishes to reset. And being very cautious with the line there. You can see you've got 5 muddies in close proximity to the disc. Makes it very difficult to get out. You can see G here positioned on the side, just out of frame. A nice close up there.
There we go. Not a lot in it. Isherwood hunting a block on this near wing. G deep of him. The count will be high. And a hammer. Nice. Big crossfielder. O'Mahony.
Making the cup work.
Yeah, a little bit more aggression from Stout here. I like it. Pop the hammer. O'Mahony. He wants this inside. Woodley was hunting one there.
They're out on the fat side.
Wang Lee. Now to Tim G. Muddies keep that on. O'Mahony has it over the top. A little bit of scuba-dooba action. And Stout maintain their composure. A couple of shaky moments caused by that Mudlarks zone. They keep it together and they wrap it up at 5-all.
As we see here, they maintain that zone structure all the way to the end zone. Always difficult to hold it for that long, and a little dish over the top. I believe that is Pavoda getting on the scoreboard. Also with a little pirouette at the end, so Stout finishing points with a high release throw or over top throw and a little spin to flourish. Making sure he doesn't get ground stripped on the way down. So after Mudlarks getting another break ahead and their noses in front, Stout managing to get a hold and now applying some defensive pressure. So Mudlarks with a relatively good run into the semi here. I believe they've been undefeated.
Yep.
Showing why they are the top seeds for this tournament.
And a good pull. Pull's starting to step up. Louis Broad hits Thorpe. Thorpe fakes the backy. And Broad lets one go. Phillips streaming deep. Stout give chase, but you're not going to catch him. Phillip with his second goal to go along with his second assist.
I think Stout are going to have to find some way to stop Phillip. He's been rampant in the first half.
Yeah, and you need to take away Louis' flick as well. You can see that is a really nicely weighted again. Another downwinder that his receiver didn't have to break stride for.
So it's already up to 6-5 now. Remember, it is half-time at 7. So can Stout offense string together a clean hold to bring it to evens, 6 apiece. Lots of gesturing, trying to get their 7th person on the line.
And once again, Paddy Thorpe lets one go. It's got a bit of disc golf about it, that one.
Beautiful float.
Check the Masters scores. All right, Denya. Everyone streams deep. It's now Shepherd. Has a receiver. Molnar's going deep. Under instead. And now Marty goes deep. They've got him in power position if they want him. Denya, jab steps. Gets the safe one back. Has Sheppard absolutely free and roasts him. No one cutting. It's all dried up. It's only Owen Sheppard cutting. Marty coming from the back of the stack now. Run all day, that fella will. Gets to Dow. Dow, watch for the crossfield hammer. No, instead, very patient. Goes back to Denya, who did not have a dump. And he shoots one deep to the big fella, Dow, and he was out the back. Had 2 larks to contend with. And the end zone line. And was already out. I think there was thoughts of a greatest. I think that's where his head was at.
Yeah, the movement from the downfield had really stalled. Not too many options, had to squeeze it up that sideline. In that downwind direction, just getting pushed to the very back of the end zone made it a very challenging completion.
So a huge opportunity here for the Mudlarks. They are 6-5 up, but it's not a gap that you would say is game winning. But if they can take half at 7-5, they put themselves in the box seat to book a spot in the final.
So big flat mark trying to deter the big shots.
Howard. He looks inside with a lovely little break flick. Isherwood fakes the backhand huck. Instead to Beard. Beard back to Isherwood. He looks around for the backhand again. Nothing doing. Goes to Beard. Beard to Howard. Sorry, that's Fox.
Lots of heat on defense there by Stout.
Yeah, Denya and Isherwood. That's a good matchup. Gets Thorpe. Thorpe has Howard completely free. Uses him. Aiden lets one go, and this is a 3-on-1. Maybe a 3-on-2. Woodley gets up, elevates. He has the goal. He throws the goal.
And that is half Mudlarks. They do manage another break to push their beaks ahead. 2 breaks in front.
Fair speculator from Aiden, I reckon you'd say. Woodley with the read. Nice pack grab. Was not in. Safe as you like, Isherwood to Beard. Cole Beard. As we see the difference, it's 4 breaks to 2. That's what has the Mudlarks in front. Generating 2 more turns than Stout. So we're going to go and listen in to the messages from each team at halftime. It's Mudlarks with their noses or beaks in front.
Some rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to you. you off my mind. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty over from the minute that I met you.
And welcome back to the second half of the Open semi-final. It is the Mudlarks out of Geelong playing New South Wales Stout. And it was the Mudlarks with their beaks in front, enjoying a 7-5 lead, coming out on O. And it's Louis Broad with his Barley Sunnies. Has Justin Mack, free as a bird, free as a lark, goes to mid-up. Mitch Field, he goes with the inside to Charlie. So the young boys getting it done. And Tim G just absolutely legs Mitch and still stalling him, and then goes, okay, no, it was a foul, accepted. Accepted. Oh, I got it right, and then I got it wrong. Goes to Broad. Broad, let's go that flick bomb again. He's got Charlie with the sit, and it's Phillip at the back, cleaning it up. Second chance points on offer for Josh.
Nice, efficient, clean hole to start the first half for the Larks. 11, Lewis Broad to number 1, Joshy Phillips. So liking the ones and hoping for a number 1 at the end of this weekend. And as we said in the first half, Joshy Phillips, 3 goals, 2 assists and a block now. Stout not having the answers to stop him in his tracks. So at halftime, the chat in the Stout camp was to really try and hustle, really try to give it back to the Larks. You know, they're giving heaps, you've got to give it back to them. Bit of argy-bargy, but trying to assert their control over the game. I mean, they let Larks through with 2 breaks early, but they did peck 2 breaks in a row back, so they have proven themselves that they can do it. Just got to really continue believing.
Yeah, and similarly from the Mudlarks circle, Ash O'Sullivan, their coach, praising the resilience, which I thought was quite a good word. Strikes me as quite a sagacious man, Ash O'Sullivan, quite intelligent, astute. And just said, I just want a little bit more. And I think that's their deal. I heard him say at the start of the game, I'm just going to ask you for a little bit more. Just ask for a bit more. So,
And Weimer with a hand block.
that's a little bit more. That's what his coach asked for. So Justin Mack going to the disc to put in the first break of the second half. He goes with the inside flick. And it's Tim Wise catching a rapid break goal from number 20, Justin Mack.
Larks very vocal here. Celebrating those small wins, as you said, just giving a little more, They want to be putting the foot on the pedal to try and stamp their authority and accelerate through this second half. As we see here, turnover, aggressive defense here all throughout the game by the Buddies. And another perfect conversion there. In fact, for the Larks D-line, they have scored 5 out of 6 break points without giving the disc back. So that is really fantastic percentage.
Good stat. Good stat. That's gold.
Yeah,
Not gold if you're stout, but
yeah, working hard in the commentary booth, trying to multitask.
sending 2 invoices? You'd hope so. So, Aiden with a nice pull. Another one. These pulls are starting to get good. Goes to Shepherd. Shepherd has Molnar out wide. A lovely little gainer. Molnar hits Dow. Gets down. A long way down for that big man. Dow fakes. There's a lot of action around the disc. Shepherd waiting in the dump space.
Again, that intensity just proving too good. No, not making any advancement.
Marty, he's got one going deep. It's a Dow. Instead goes back to Shepherd.
Oh, these has a sniff.
Dania, he lets one go. To Glenn Molnar, running on to it. And Dania says, Woodley, if you're going to bid on me, have some of this. Hucks the power position goal.
So nice, clean hold and steadying goal for Stout. Just what they needed.
Oh, Woodley hunting that block. Dania completely unmarked, throwing the open goal. To Glenn Molnar. Still got it. So 9-6 at the 54-minute mark of the game. We are going to go to 73 minutes, add a couple minutes for the injury timeout earlier in the game. And this will be a brick. I think the first brick of the game.
One,
yeah,
yeah.
It's been good pulling until now.
I don't think Stout can afford to give up too many easy meters, really. Larks have proven to be very clean with the disc.
And it'll be Dan Matthews-Hunter coming in. Charlie jumps in the lane. It looks like some kind of junk. So
Yeah. 2-3-2. So trying to clog up that front space and the undercut. So having to move side to side, Larks.
Broad goes to Paddy. Back to Louis. Louis Broad, and it looks like they've collapsed in. Broad, big break flick, open to Phillip, who's unmarked. So they've gone with the transition, but there's a bit of a breakdown because there are players free. They adjust now. Paddy thought with the inside break, hits DMH. He wants the break. He goes with the around backhand. And that's easy as you like. To Charlie Medic. And if you're Stout, the one critical defensive adjustment you need to make is taking away the breaks. You're just seeing inside breaks there. followed up by an around, at least take one of them away, because it's just making life very hard for their defenders downfield to try and exert any pressure.
For sure. I think really just back to basics. Don't get broken. Because that way your defense is completely out of whack in terms of position and makes it very difficult to contain. So, I mean, I like the change up for a zone, trying to slow things down. But I think it felt like there was a lot of hesitancy along that transition. Opened up a lot of space.
Yeah, I don't mind them trying something else, trying something new. But maybe just calling it a bit late, like when you transition and they're essentially in red zone, you only need one blown matchup to just release any kind of pressure you were trying to build.
I think maybe even just more assertiveness over that transition. I don't think there was a hell of a lot of communication from the sideline, so
yeah,
the play's a bit confused there on field about whether they were persisting or transitioning.
Paddy Thorpe with the pull. Shepherd eventually picks it up.
So zone look from the Larks. Forces an over top with some heat.
Yeah, Wig, half a bid. But Dow was safe with it, goes to Marty. And now the movement out to Denya. Denya feels like he's playing every point. He has Shepherd out wide, uses him with the overhead. Owen moves it through, and that's Denya catching the goal. Stout, stay in touch. A lovely scuba to open it up. Mark Fulford throwing the goal, everybody.
Sorry, Mark, you ain't on the list, so I can't give you a stat for that one.
No, he's been in everything as well for Stout. And I was just like, well, you're not on the team list. I'm not going to call you, champ. As we see the silverware. What do we got here? Chile, Mudlarks. That's a good one. The 2020 winner was COVID-19. Yeah, Mudlarks in 2018, 2021. And then Chile in 2018, 2019. How can you have two winners in 2018? Oh, well. It's an impressive shield, nonetheless. We see the Mudlarks vying to win it. And it's going to be Dan Matthews-Hunter shooting to a 2-on-1, but the one is Timothy Allen Wise, and he on the second bite, followed by a little bear hug from Tim G. Catches the huck from DMH.
Nice, congratulations from G there. Just looking way too smooth and efficient. Yet another clean hold for the Muddies. And Tim Wise, absolute beast in the end zone. Huge target. Gets up high. Keeps his eyes on the prize. Make sure to get that second attempt down. So Muddies really cruising now. All they have to do is get a couple more points on the board and they'll be in the gold medal match. Just remember 2018 was the year in Wollongong with 70k per hour wins, and I remember playing...
Oh, they call it a draw.
Yeah, I remember playing the women's, and
yes.
Then the Opens was scheduled for afterwards, and they said it's too dangerous, we've had too many disc-to-faces, and we are cancelling the men's. So can Stout try and claw back a point with a hold here, just a standard match defense for the Larks.
That's Fulford. He's a bit indignant when I didn't know him. He's been everywhere, including right now. Gets it out. I think that's Vidler. He throws, and that one picked off at the front of the stack. It was Molnar, I think. Woodley with it now. He wants Weimer. Gets Weimer out of the way. There's no dump, so he has to go inside with an unconvincing flick, and it's called up.
I think called down, and then the chat is whether it was up or down.
Yeah, Ants called it up.
Does look like he's saved it from the grass in the replay.
I mean, Woodley didn't do him any favours, but...
It's always worth asking the question, I think.
Aiden sees 2 go deep. Count's getting high. Poachers out everywhere. Justin Mack.
Completely unmarked.
Denyer eventually goes near him. And Aiden, unforced error. And they run the quick run and gun to get the goal. Brings it to 11-8. And they needed to get that back and hold it there, Stout.
Heartbreaking for Stout here. Sorry for
Aiden.
turnover for Aiden. As he saved that previous disc, but that one just bobbles out.
I'm calling you all the time now. Yeah. Full fit everywhere. It's nice when we actually know his name.
I can't put it down.
As we see Simon Talbot grace the field for a point. One of the nation's best administrators, coaches. Recently a Grand Master as well. So it'll be Phillip with it. Stout persisting with this junk. And it looks, it's transitioned, I think, now, Averill. They do. So they've gone into it. They only played it for a couple of passes, and that's a good transition. They did it pretty cleanly. Tim Wise is out.
Some good calls on the switches downfield to deter that big shot.
Yep. But the movement has got him to halfway. Phillip goes to Medic. Medic, the flick to Tim. Tim Wise back to Medic. Medic goes for a nice little trot. Throws the backhand. Wise, give go action. And that gets them to 12-8, 1 point away from booking their spot in the final. Stout, if they want to get it done, they're going to have to put this one in and go on a D run. They'll need to put in 4 in a row.
I feel like that's unlikely with the defense just not having that same intensity and heat. As you see here, relatively easy score for Tim Wise. So the 244s in Wise and Denyer, a bit of a shoot-off. Tim Wise with 3 goals and assist. And lining up the scoreboard there. So Mudlarks showing that even if the long game has been shut down, they've got some good small ball and willing to use their legs to work it through. Have to say, though, not a bad half by Stout, as we see Paul Denyer here with the stats, 2 goals and assist as well, has been involved in plenty. But just looking back on this last half, it's been all holds. There's only been the 1 break from Mudlarks early. So, I mean, it was really just the first half that got away from
Correct.
Stout.
Yep. Plenty of noise. We see Shepherd. Ledwich back to Shepherd. Shepherd to Fulford. Gets it to halfway. Shep, big wide step back to Ledwich. It's almost like they're running a handler ISO now. Now they engage the stack. Goes to Marty. Marty back to Ledwich. Now the cuts have kind of dried up out of the stack. Owen Shepard's still going. Marty Nguyen still going, not in. And Owen and Marty running a little ISO, the Wombats teammates. Bit of shake and bake action. It gives them the hold. And so now, if Stout are going to get it done, they're going to get it done on D.
Stout did well to get a clean hold. Although what I saw in that point was that the cuts were going, they're clearing not so much. So clogging up that space for the next option made it a bit more difficult, having to kind of go back and swing and dump. So that's the real difference, I think, between the Stout offense and the Mudlarks offense. Mudlarks just working harder to clear space for each other and therefore getting plenty more flow. So timeout called. I think a good idea by Stout just to see if they can extend this game a bit longer. And we will be back after the timeout in the dying stages of this semi-final in the Opens division.
And the Mudlarks burn that timeout to talk it over. Stout needing to go on a big D run. Very calm messaging from the Muddies in that from Ash O'Sullivan, saying stay engaged, stay in the moment, regardless of whether you're on the field or on the sideline. Just feel the good vibrations. That's his message, which again quite existential. So I think he's a thinker, that man. Don't know him too well, but very highly regarded as a coach.
I'm sure Stout have put on a strong defensive line here. It is serious business in the semi. Go hard or go home. That's what they've been asking of each other. And a nice long pull to set up the defense. Initial few looks, not an option.
And all the Muddies working really hard in this horror, all four of them cutting in and out, and it's Tim Wise getting the under. Holds the flick, but that one misfired. Tim G gets the intercept. Goes to Marty to Denya. Denya lets go to Fulford. Stout, an opportunity to put this break in. Back to Denya. Denya has Tim G wide, burns him. Instead goes to Marty. Denya and Phillip, good matchup. Fulford. They're able to bounce it back and forth here, Stout. There's an inside break backhand shot to Marty, and Denya threw him into the space. Great throw. Denya could see that, had the vision. We got a great shot of it.
As we see here, just Marty and Denya working together, Fulford getting involved, and that nice swing opens up that space. Fakes that around, so pushes the mark out, and that opens up that inside channel, as you said, that throw-initiated space. And so Stout not dead yet here. They do peg a break back. They will have to go on a break train if they're looking to extend this game. I'm sure Ash O'Sullivan will be asking the Larks to stay in this moment just to stay focused, not get too ahead of themselves.
Yeah, and we're going to roll this. So this is what I mentioned about Denya throwing his teammate into space. You can see he gets it there. Now, Joe Phillips sits off wide, and that gives all of this space into the lane, right? He's kind of got that entire space there. You can see that his teammates are on the right side, so all he has to do is just air that out. He had three players, 1, 2, 3, all there. that's throwing to the advantage of your player, throwing them into space. So when you hear that, that's how you do it.
I think credit also goes to that far handler as well. That cut also dragged that mark to overcommit on that break side, opens up that inside channel.
All right, so the Mudlarks are going to have a second crack at it. Louis Broad throws the backhand. It sits up a little bit. Mitchfield with his tongue hanging out. That's how you know Mitch is working hard, when he's running around looking like a puppy dog. And there was a call.
Intense defense by Stout to apply pressure on that first couple of passes. Does force a high throw. Has a little sniff.
Louis Broad much better this time on the flat flick. Goes to Paddy Thorpe. Paddy, he fakes the flick. Engages Woodley, but Woodley wasn't looking. He gets back now.
Getting a bit picky here.
Yeah. All the Mudlarks wanting to cut, just needing to probably take a breath, communicate a little bit more. Stroll it in is the remark from Mega Coach O'Sullivan. Pat Thorpe, he goes the flick under to DMH. DMH, he again with the flick under. And another flick under, but this one, it's enough. And it's a goal. And that's a great way for the Mudlarks to book their spot in the final. Off the back of DMH getting on his guts, sealing it. I thought it was out too far in front of him, but reeled it in, made sure, and that's a really strong display from the Mudlarks, who booked their spot in yet another Div 2 Open final.
Mudlarks just finding their way into that open space, getting their defenders off guard, trying to switch to help, but like you said, gets on the ground to make sure of it. Mudlarks never really in doubt. I think they started with good intensity early, managed to get in front, although there was a little bit of effort there from Stout to get a couple back. In the end, Mudlarks just running away with it. I think winning both the energy battle and the physical battle in the end.
Yep, Stout now playing for bronze. As you see the differences there just around those breaks. But also I think what's impressive, and you mentioned this as well, even when they took the disc off them, was the amount of holds. You know, Mudlarks didn't really give the disc away. A pretty impressive game, which we expected from them, but they are going to be ominous coming into the final.
Not only offensively clean holds, but when their D-line managed to gain possession, the perfect conversions and not letting it give back, not giving the disc back. I think that was a real key to winning this game. So if they play like that in the final, I think they'll be looking in prime position to go back-to-back. We have a look at the stats. D-line, in fact, converted 5 out of 7 points cleanly. So really difficult to beat there.
So that's it from us. We will be back with the women's final starting shortly. And capped off by the open final will be the Mudlarks. Presenting the women's final is NSU Aurora versus Wollongong Surge. That will be at 12 noon, so in 15 minutes' time. We look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks very much.
ULTI.TV.